What's going on, Rhody Nation, and welcome back to episode 3 of Fresh Takes, sponsored by Dave's Fresh Marketplace. This weekend is going to be really cold, so go down to Dave's, get some fresh food, and do your best Rachel Ray while you watch Rhody Hoops. Let's start off by getting a fresh update of what happened last week in Rhody Athletics. On January 25th, our women's basketball team went down to Virginia to beat George Mason 57-53. Well, back here at the Ryan Center, our men's team won a huge game over Dayton, 75-70 in the Coaches versus Cancer game. The Young Bucks, Ishmael Leggett and Brayon Freeman combined for 46 points, while the old head guard, Jalen Carey, had 12 points. On the weekend of the 27th and 28th, the men's and women's track team headed up to Boston to compete in the BU Terrier Classic and the Riverhawk Invitational. At the BU Terrier Classic, Eric Solkowski broke the school record in the mile with a time of 4:06:32. And at the Riverhawk Invitational, Matt Santi won the high jump with a mark of 2.04 meters. Also on Saturday, the women's swim and dive team went down to Central Connecticut State, where they ended up losing to the Blue Devils. But right here at the Ryan Center, the men's basketball team had a gigantic come-from-behind victory, 72-70 over LaSalle. And on Sunday, January 9th, Rhody women's tennis started off its spring season with the match at the International Tennis Hall of Fame in Newport. And it was Sophie Herman leading the Rams. She had a straight set victory. And Sophie, if you're watching, I'll challenge you to a one-on-one. See you on the court. February 1st, that was National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And guess what? Rhody Women's Hoops holding it down here in the Ryan Center. Crowd of 1,400 came out to watch the Rams fight their way to a dramatic double overtime victory over St. Joe's, 77-73. Maya Torre going off, 18 points, 18 rebounds, now putting her in the top 30 in the country for double doubles. She now has 10 on the season. P.S. Come back. They're also 9-0 in conference and 11-0 at the Ryan Center. That's historic. On February 2nd and 3rd were the New England Track and Field Championships. And in the men's weight throw, we had a 1-2 punch, a heavyweight 1-2 punch. Jonathan Buchanan with a throw of 20.5 meters, while right behind him was Alex Baez with a throw of 18.16. In the men's 5,000 meter run, Ben Fleischer came in first with a time of 14:47.03. And at the time of the recording, the men's team is leading the overall scoring with 110 points. And on the women's side, Trinity Smith coming in first in the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 8.64. She's also next week's guest on Munch with Mo, so you guys should tune in. Now we just got a fresh update of what just happened in Rhody Athletics. Let's get a fresh look at the weeks ahead. On Saturday, February 4th, the women's basketball team will travel down to North Carolina to take on Davidson, and they're slated for a 7 p.m. tip. The next day, Sunday, February 5th, women's tennis will travel to New York to take on Siena. A 1:45 match is set. On Tuesday, February 7th, men's basketball will travel to St. Louis to take on the Billikens, a late 9 p.m. tip-off. On Wednesday, February 8th, women's basketball is back here at the Ryan Center for Pride Night as they welcome George Washington, a 6 p.m. tip. On Friday, February 10th, the women's track and field team will head up to Boston to compete in the Valentine Invitational. Saturday, February 11th is a huge day in Rhody Athletics. The men's and women's track and field programs have a huge day of competition. The URI Coaches Invitational will be hosted here in Kingston, and half the men's team will be competing in that, while the other half will head up to Boston for the Valentine Invitational. To round out Saturday, men's basketball will head down to Virginia to take on George Mason, an A-10 foe, for a 2 p.m. tip. While back here in Rhode Island at 4 p.m., the women's tennis team will host Stonehill. On Sunday, February 12th, the women's basketball team will also be down in Virginia, but not playing George Mason. They're playing VCU, a 12 p.m. tip for the Rams. On Wednesday, February 15th, women's swimming and diving will head to Geneva, Ohio to compete in the A-10 championships. Also on Wednesday the 15th, men's basketball is here at the Ryan Center to take on VCU at 7 p.m. And on Thursday, February 16th, Rhody Swim and Dive will still be in Ohio competing at the A-10 Championships. But back here at the Ryan Center, it's Tammy Reese's favorite night of the year. It's 80s night. Women's basketball is playing UMass, 7 p.m. So go get on your favorite Duran Duran shirt. Go get some neon. Go get some high-waisted jeans. Cut some holes in the knees and come rock out with us, 7 p.m. To round out the show from now on, we will be adding in a new addition to this segment called the Freshest Performers. So here's going to be who the best performers were in Rhody Athletics from the prior weeks. On the women's side, we have Sophie Herman. Sophie helped the Rams women's tennis team over Bucknell 4-2 with a straight set victory to end it all off in Newport. And on the men's side, I have Ishmael Leggett from men's basketball. Ishmael Leggett scored 52 total points over the past 3 games, including a 25-point outburst against Dayton here at home. That's it for this episode of Fresh Takes, sponsored by Dave's Fresh Marketplace. As always, good luck to all of our athletes in their upcoming competitions, and go Rhody.